Now I'm going to show you some of my favorite tricks with fonts and text. So first, when you first get to a Google slide, you might have some text boxes. Clean those up, lay out blank, or you can just highlight them and click the backspace button, and that will delete them off the slide. I've placed a background. We talked about that in the images video, but right here you can put a background. And then I'm going to place a text box. So this little box with the T is your text box. And I'm going to put some text here. Now, once I have it in there, I can highlight it and then change the font. But I'm not limited to just the fonts they have here for you. You can click more fonts, and there's a whole bunch in here, and you can search through those. You can sort by different popularity, alphabetical, date added. If you know the name of the font, you can search for it that way, and then you just need to make sure it's checked and click OK. So now my font is that. And a shortcut I use, instead of coming up here and slowly increasing, I hold down the Control Shift and then period, and that's going to increase it. And then you can hold down the Control Shift and comma, and that will decrease it. So that's one thing I do to find the perfect font size. You can also insert word art. So this is a little bit different than a regular text box. If you go insert word art and then type in your text here, this is what it'll look like. Now, one fun thing you can do with this, the difference between a regular text box and word art is this is going to treat it more as an image. So when you resize it, it's not relying on the font size, it's the size of the box. So when you get it to the right size, then you can play around with the color. So you can change the inside color. But a fun thing to do is to change it the same color as the background, and then increase your, or change the line around it. So you can change the color of the line and then the size of the line. And let's actually take it to black. There we go. And then you can change the font. And then you have this word art that you can play around with and manipulate. When it did go off the side, that is something fun to do. If you're dealing with a Google slideshow and you're having students work on it, if you're not going into present mode, you're not limited to just the background they give you. You can put things off to the side, and I will do this a lot. I'll have the directions up here and then images or text that they need to drag over to make it like a draggable activity and put things in this gray space. And I use the gray space a lot. I fill up the gray space and the white space. So then this is like an image. So you can also use the format options, and you can give it a drop shadow, and you'll have to play around with the angle and the distance of your drop shadow, but you can give it that and it kind of pops. Or you can give it a reflection, and then it kind of has this water effect that looks like it's down here, and you can play around with the transparency of that, or the distance from the text, or the size of how much reflection you want happening. So some fun things you can do with fonts. Now, with text. Now, another cool trick that people don't know about as much as some of the others is if you like your font and maybe you found that perfect color, let's say it's this one, let's highlight and get that into that color. Now you go to your next slide and you're like, oh, I have to go back and reformat this. You don't have to. What you do is you highlight what you like, and then you click this little paint roller. And when you do that and go to your next slide and click on that, it will change it. Now, if you double click when you do that, you do it twice, that little paint roller will stay with you, and you can click on text and it will still be there. And if there was more text, I could keep clicking on it and it would change whatever. So I just go through my slides, and let's say there's more text here. And I could take my little paint roller once I have it double clicked, and then I can click and click on the text and click. So you can just go around and switch everything to the font size, the font color, and the font that you want. So those are some fun tricks. Another one is, let's clear this out. Oh, see, I still have the paint roller attached. So you'll want to make sure you turn that off if you keep going, or it'll just keep changing everything to that. Another thing is if you use the Bitmoji extension, and I don't know if you knew this, whatever you type in here, so let's just type grades, it's going to give you some different images with that. But if you do it again, it will give you different ones. So each time it gives you like different ones. And let's say I really like this one. So I'm going to copy her and paste. Now, I don't want the image though. I just want the font. So I'm going to crop that and take her off. And then all of a sudden I have just the font that I can move around and use. So it gives you some really fun fonts to use that Bitmoji extension and just put in the words, and you can crop off the little person. So those are some fun things you can do with text and to make your slideshows